Welcome to our channel, Million Dollars Made Easy. This is a channel where we run numbers for people. We create spreadsheets to help them see where they might be in the future. We use the actual historical returns to the S&P 500 for the last 100 years, which includes the depression years, and we simply project ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. The result is a possible range of what may happen. We're going to look in this video at somebody in the accumulation stage. They're going to give me the beginning balance, their monthly contribution, and whether they want to increase that or not. And they're also going to give me a length of run. It's best if we have at least 25 years to let the compounding effect take advantage. Unfortunately, in this request, I got somebody that's 24 years old, has 11,000 saved up, and wants to know how much it would take to save a month to get to $1 million in just 6 years by age 30. I want to show you an important principle here just by going down through here. If we have returns like 1994, 6 straight positive years. This is about the best case scenario you're going to find. Putting in $6,500 a month. This is a month, folks. He would have $967,000 after that 6-year period. Given these returns, of course, none of these will be identical. But folks, this is about the best case scenario you could possibly find. He still would have to save $6,500 a month. If I start going down through and you start having some negative returns in that 6-year period, now you have 708,000. Now you have only 534,000. If you have 4 really good years and 2 down years, and look if we have 3 down years, then you'd only have 389,000 to show for it, and yet you would have put in a lot more than that. You would have put in $479,000 over that 6-year period. And make sure this is updated here. 479,000. And there's some years in the last 100 years you'd only have about 300,000 to show for. You'd have less than what you put in, putting this kind of money in. But what we want to do is look at what happens if we wait till age, let's run this one from age 39. He's 24, 39 to 49. It's a lot more realistic here. I went ahead and ran the numbers for this. In this case, over a 15-year period, he would have put in 245,000. This is with just 1,300 a month, which is probably more realistic rather than 10,000 a month or 6,500 a month. This is more maybe what he's able to save up. 1,300 a month, given this 11,000 over 15-year period, he would have put in 245,000. And finally, in the worst case scenario, you'd have more than what you put in, because what happens is you can hit a bad slew of 15-year periods, especially if you go back to the depression years. There was a whole bunch of down years, but even as recently as 2000 to 2008, you had 4 down years. So yeah, in a 15-year period, you had some really good years, but you could end up with numbers like this over a 15-year period where you barely got, in the worst case scenario, you barely had more than what you put in. But if you carry this out to 25 years when he'd be age 49, then he would have put in 401,000, and in the worst case scenario, he'd have $1 million. But again, let me stick with these numbers right here just to show you. We're going to be looking at the 15-year column now here for this one right here. We have numbers like 1990 after 15 years, you do 543,000, 507,000. You're still not making it that million that he's looking for, because again, there hasn't been enough time. You'd have to have 15 years of really good returns to probably get to $1 million contributing $1,300 a month. But if you carry it out to 25 years, then it's much more realistic doing it. Let's look at the 25-year column here. Let me go down here, pick out the 25 years. After 25 years, if you have numbers like 1992, you'd have 1.283 million. If you have numbers like 1993, 1.4 million. So it looks like you're making it there with this $1,300 a month if you have some of these good years. But let's go back to some of these problem years. Let's go back to, I think it's the 60s that are kind of problematic here. Bear with me here. I haven't run these numbers ahead of time. If you have some down years like down 14, down 26, then after 25 years, what would you have? After 15 years, you just have 573,000. Again, we're using this number, $1,300 a month. I'm just going to go down to $1,000 a month. Just to show him. Let's go ahead and update this. Okay, this is $1,000 a month, folks. In the worst case scenario for a 25-year period, he would have put in 311,000. he'd have 812,000 to show for it, just a little bit short. The median in this economy is 1.569. So I just wanted to run these different numbers just to show you you're not going to do it in 6 years unless you have a lot of money and are willing to take a loss and not even get back what you put in. Because 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, up to 10 years, you could end up with less than what you put in. For example, here's a 10-year period, putting in 791,000, only having 658,000 to show for it. That's putting in 6,500 a month. Probably giving you way more information than you need, but you really need to give it time. The farther you go out, then you see the numbers taking off like this. This is a 25-year graph. But if you do just a 5 to 10-year graph, you could end up getting less money than what you put in. So to answer his question, I don't want to give him any kind of an idea of how much it would take because you could end up with less money than what you put in, and you have to put in huge amounts and still end up with not even close to $1 million because you're just asking the S&P to do 500 to do a lot more than it can over a short period of time. But over a long period of time, then you see the graphs taking off like this. But folks, that's what we do on this channel. We just run numbers for people. But again, it's best if we have at least 25 years to run these numbers. I love it when I catch people that have 30, 35, and 40 years, because then you truly see the graphs taking off uh, like this right here. Just let me show you just a graph like that. Just amazing kind of numbers, just shooting up like a rocket. But again, that's what we do on this channel. If you want me to run numbers for you, give me these criteria. But thanks so much for watching the channel. Please consider subscribing. Let people know that we run all kinds of different numbers, all kinds of different scenarios. And please like the video, and thanks so much for watching.